Hello and welcome to Chaturday Live, where we talk to everyday people about their jobs, hobbies and talents. My name is Jason Robinson and I'll be your host. If you'd like to join us on the show and let the world know about you, then please get in touch. Today's show, I have the pleasure of speaking to not only a fantastic entertainer in his field, but also a very old friend. We will take the time to hear more about him and what he gets up to soon. In light of the reason why so many of us are working from home and even having to stop work while the world is still coping with COVID-19, it's only fitting that we find out how our guests are dealing with it and if they have any tips to keep us busy. Without further ado, please let me welcome the very talented Mr. Kevin Nicholson, who I'll now invite. Bear with me 2 seconds.
Hello.
Hello, Kevin. How are we? All right.
I'm very good. Hello,
Welcome
Jason.
to, the very first show of Chaturday Live. I have explained
Chaturday.
Due to obviously the current situation, you've been called into work tomorrow, so we're pre-recording this on Friday night. So thanks very much for taking the time out of your day.
Welcome.
So I know you very well. Obviously, I've known you for many years. But to those that are going to be watching this, obviously a brief description of what I can say is that obviously you're in the hospitality and entertainment business. You've been doing it now
Yes.
for at least you've been doing it now for, as far as I remember, for at least 14 years or more.
Yeah.
And obviously we've met each other back in obviously college when we were obviously young and aspirations and hopes were high. So if you don't mind, I'm going to jump straight in and ask you a few questions. Is that okay?
Yeah, it's absolutely fine. Thank you for having me.
So how are you? That's the first one. Obviously, with the Mental Health Awareness Week just passing us by, I think it's very important that we touch on the subject, that we do take the time to ask our friends and family how they are. So, Kev, how are you?
Honestly,
Yes.
I don't know. Like, there's no proper answer for that right now. It's just what it is. If anyone says, yeah, I'm fine, they're not going to be fine. Not really. Oh, that's a piece of ice that's just fallen. Sorry. But yeah, I literally don't know. Sometimes I'm okay. Sometimes I'm not. I get very anxious. I get very alone. But then I go to work and I'm okay. And then I come home and I'm like, oh, it's going to be the same again. And with the new announcement today as well, for them saying that they're going to do a national lockdown of Wales where they kick everyone out. Cool.
So I must express to the viewers then, obviously, that where you're calling from at the moment, you are currently in Wales with an English accent. So
yes, this accent is all mine.
So obviously being in Wales, and obviously with the local lockdowns now going into place then, so prior to today's news, which is obviously going to be broadcast more widely over the weekend, obviously about but obviously the instructions they want people to do. For the last 8 months that COVID's obviously been with us,
Yeah.
how is it obviously your work and obviously your business been affected, would you say?
Well, I work at a holiday park, so it's been massively affected. We've had to, I think on the second week that we were open in March, we pretty much had to close. No entertainment since then. We reopened in July and still no entertainment. The club, they just can't go in a club. Can't have that many people in a club. It's just too hard. I imagine it's the same all over Wales. I know England got away with a bit and they could do stuff outside, but we still had a rule over here where you couldn't sing.
Right. Yes, I do remember that rule, obviously, for the fear of passing on the germs.
I don't get it. I'd like you could. I saw something the other day that looked amazing and is a fantastic idea for karaoke's. They call it shower karaoke. Now they bring in shower doors, like the oval doors. They put it in front of you. They put the microphone behind it, and you literally stand behind there doing your little one song.
I've never heard of that, but I'll probably Google that later on now. Shower karaoke.
It's out there. It's out there.
Right. So obviously, to get on to more focused about you, then as our guest today, and thanks very much again. Thanks for
You're welcome.
So I know you from, like you said, about 14, 15 years ago, obviously, when we were in college and stuff like that together. But prior to that, obviously, you must have had some sort of inkling that you wanted to be in entertainment of some shape or form. Where did it come from, and who were your inspirations?
Well, firstly, it's been 17 years, but it's nice to know that it's been good for you too. Uh, and secondly, the way I got into this, I never really wanted to be an entertainer. I never went that way. I was totally into sport when I was younger, massively into sport. Then it's like I was at a kind of crisis. Like, what do I do? Do I start work young, or do I go to college? Failed college twice, so I had to go back, and then I went right back at that certain college. So then I went, I know, right? Then I went to Lowestoft College to do music, and I was like, I like music. I like bands. I listen to my punk. I listen to my emos. I think that's all different now. They've got all different names. I couldn't find anything I liked anymore because all their genre is just added stuff. So there's Sween and stuff like that. I've never heard of it. Like, what's that? I remember doing reports on all the different genres. Pretty sure there was like 16. Now there's 64.
Yeah. So obviously from Lowestoft College then, and that's obviously where I met you. So prior to going into college,
Yeah.
you were, as you said, you were into sport, obviously hanging out with your friends, just the everyday youth of that era, shall we say, just literally laughing about, enjoying life, nothing more. So you've gone to college, you've found an interest in music, obviously. So I know you play musical instruments. And where did that stem from then? Because that was obviously before college.
So I actually tried to play guitar first, and I used to get very, very frustrated with it because I don't have the best, like, what's the word? I can't focus on something. I can't focus on something for a long, like straight time. So I went on to something else, but I couldn't. I also have defected fingers, so so you try hitting a G note with these.
Ooh, yes. Okay. Yes.
So I couldn't stretch. So I was like, what could be better? But like from a very young age, I've always liked Blink-182, and Blink-182. I used to watch their DVDs, and I used to think they're so funny, and how cool it would be to play music, hang out with your friends, and just mess about all the time. So I pretty much focused myself on learning bass. I pretty much taught myself, along with the guitartab.com. Like, we borrowed you. I don't think they're even around anymore. But
no, I think there's the one that begins with a U that I don't know if we're allowed to publicise, but go on.
You chord with a C. I remember. But no, it was from him. So Mark Hoppus is a massive influence of mine. I've got other fans, not other fans. I feel like I've got fucking one. Sorry. I've got other like influences, but massively it's Mark Hoppus for me, and that's what got me into bass.
So you started to learn bass guitar, obviously, through music, which is Blink-182, which was established. So you've come to college with the idea that you've obviously picked up somewhat of a little bit of bass that you can obviously get through and obviously learn an instrument. So again, entertainment as a whole, still not on the cards at this point. It was purely just a case of go to college, maybe learn a bit more bass, maybe get something in music technology, which was the course that we were on, and then maybe see if it stems from there, maybe supporting like, Led Zeppelin on stage by twiddling a few knobs, who knows? All right. But so here you are. So you finished college now, because obviously we've gone through that. During college, obviously, your music side had obviously gone up a little bit of a step because you joined a band.
Yeah. I joined two bands. So first band was called Best Kept Secret.
Right.
It was an interesting time. Best Kept Secret. It was actually with yourself on drums.
It was
as a singer. And you were put on drums. It was me and Aaron Clampin.
Aaron Clampin, yes.
On the lugs.
Yeah, so again, we've met each other through college, obviously through entertainment of kind of music. Now, obviously, for those that don't know who I am, I'm obviously an entertainer as well to some degree. I've been singing way before college and obviously still after college. So I already had some sort of idea of what I was going to do with my career and where it was going to go. But to find somebody as like-minded as you and Aaron at the time that just wanted to perform, make music, have a laugh, pretty much base our last 2 years of college on Blink 182 with the idea that you could travel around in a van and make lots of money. Didn't work, but the idea was there. So obviously we've all ended college now. So back in 2004, we've all gone our separate ways. I've now disappeared off to do what I wanted to do. Okay, so now what's rumbling around your mind? Where does entertainment come in?
2004? When the hell did I start? When did I start entertainment? I don't even remember. I think it was 2000. I think it was 2006. You know.
Pardon?
I think it wasn't until 2006 I joined entertainment.
Right. Okay.
Pretty sure.
Yeah.
But going from that, after we stopped college, I think I was pretty much in the band still, with Aaron and a different drummer, Ryan.
Yeah.
And we did a few gigs and kept around, but then it was when Aaron left, he moved to Norwich.
Yes.
It became a lot harder, so we thought, you know, stop it and just start looking for something that's more, you know, tangible, not spending nights in a really horrible van, I remember, of Ryan's. But you got used to Aaron smells, and that's never a good sign. So it was time to move on. After that, I got in touch with you, who was working at Hemsby Beach.
I was.
And you got me working on the bar.
I did.
And also, whilst there, I just wanted to work. I just really wanted to work. So I did daytime in the pool. I was a pool watcher, wasn't a lifeguard, didn't have all that stuff. I was just a pool watcher. And, oh, that could get them in trouble. Scrap that.
Okay. It's been a while now.
We keep that. They're fine. Yeah, they weren't even Richardsons back then. There was someone else.
Right, carry on as you were.
And then in the evening I do bar work, and literally I was finish at 2, and then we'd go out to like 5. We'd fall asleep, get up at 8 o'clock to go back to work. It was literally 3 hours a night that we would sleep, probably for. But the first time I saw entertainment, and I don't want to offend anyone by saying this, but someone asked me on the bar, and they go, "Oh, would you do that?" And I'll go, "Fuck no, that's gay. I wouldn't do that." Like, that's just literally, I was like watching it. I was like, no, because I'm not that dancey and all that. I've never ever been that dancey. But after that, it watching you guys and singing along, it grew on me, grew me. And then after that, it was 2006 in the summer. So it was 2005 that I actually came to Hemsby Beach, by the way.
Right.
Or 2004. Maybe you were right. I think I just... But after that, it was after the end of the season, I decided that I wanted to try and get into entertainment. And I actually got a job first with, I think it was Park Dean, and they offered me Trekker Bay. I didn't want Trekker Bay because it was a massive park. It's one of the biggest parks in UK, and I was new to it, so I was very like, oh, I don't know if this will work for me, because I wanted to be a big fish in a small pond, not a small fish in a big pond.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah, I wanted to learn to grow, so I started at a very, very small one called Bumpston Beach for Park Resorts, which I loved. I met one of my favourite managers there, Pete Tarrant, and I'd like to say we stay in touch. Like every now and then, it's like a message, you know, like a year, 5 years later, you still message saying, "Hi, hope you're right," and all that.
Well,
but
so
I'm like that with everyone.
The obvious thousands and millions of people that are going to obviously watch this video, you want to say something to Pete now if he ever sees it?
Yeah. Like, literally, it was... I remember when he turned 36 and he had his burst appendix. And I'm now 36, and It's not happened yet, mate.
Right. Right. He
So
said
I
it would
guess
happen
that.
to you, did he? He said when
Yeah,
you
he
were
did, because I remember him having to lie down, like
young.
walk around like for ages like an old lady. But yeah, it's just not happened to me.
Again, we
Not
must
happened.
stipulate, I mean, I really need to get these little slides at the bottom here. Obviously, we do believe that a burst appendix is painful, and anybody that has had a burst appendix, we do apologise. We do believe it's painful, but obviously, in the heat of the moment,
Yes.
it was probably hilarious, as you were.
Yes, it was. It was very painful, and I've had a more painful thing than that. So Pete, I kind of win. So I had.
So, you've gone now to your first holiday park. Again, totally out of your comfort zone. You've just seen it, somebody else do it. You've not even tested your abilities in doing it.
Yeah, not at all.
You've gone to this holiday park with Park Dean. You've met this incredible manager, obviously, that's obviously took you under his wing and obviously helped you become who you are. Right, so, again, from what I know right about you, you didn't sing, you played a bit of bass, dancing, as you said, not your cup of tea, dressing up, not in the wildest dreams. Obviously,
Yeah.
we know the end of the story now. That is the case.
Yeah.
To get there, right. So obviously about you a little bit more. We'll skip further ahead, obviously, for the sake of the interview. So you've now been in entertainment. Obviously, you've travelled around the UK. You've even travelled abroad for a few stints as well. I know that.
Yeah.
I haven't done that necessarily in entertainment. Could you give us maybe a little 30-second snippet, or if not more, about the difference between obviously European holidays and obviously UK holidays?
Yeah. Going abroad, like when you first go there, you think maybe, oh, this could be a bit of a holiday. It ain't. It's not a holiday. You work very hard abroad. Like they don't get enough acknowledgement. I don't think, because of the amount of time they put in for the shows. You're up at 7 sometimes to like for your breakfast and that, and then you're kind of rehearsing from 9 for the first hour, 9 till 10. Then you've got to work for the guests that are there. You do your 6 hours till about 4. Obviously, you have your lunchtime, but then you're back rehearsing again. You're literally rehearsing for a long, long time. Then you're doing the night. It's very rewarding, very tiring. But once you've got there, it's probably the first month or two, dependent on if people leave or whatever. But once you get there, it's very smooth swimming, but very hard at the beginning, I think.
So,
But it's a thing to do, massively.
so would you say then to anybody that obviously in nowadays entertainment market, obviously prior to COVID-19, if and when that is subsidised and we go back to some sort of normality, I mean, for those that obviously are out there now, because there's a petition going around and obviously a lot of celebrities are getting involved, that saying that the entertainment industry and the arts industry is very under-recognised, of obviously the career that it is. And people do put it to one side and say, that it's just an extravagant hobby, or why can't you learn a real skill? Whereas obviously from my point of view, I can tell you now that a lot of hard work, and like you've just said there, a lot of time, hard work and effort goes into doing what you do. Now, for those people that go on holiday and they'll go away for 7 days, 14 days, whatnot, and see entertainment people doing the games, the entertainment, mingling with people, obviously the shows, I know myself, you can be up until 2:30, maybe 4 o'clock in the morning, depending on the venue you're at. And then you're expected to get back up again and be all happy and jeery at 8:30 in the morning for Breakfast Club. That is all year round in some places. And anybody that turns around and says that is not a career and a commitment, I don't want to hear it, because to be honest with you, I think that anybody that goes into that industry and gives it their all deserves more recognition than what they're receiving at the moment.
Yeah, definitely.
I'm not saying that anybody of any worth may or may not watch my videos, but if anybody ever does come across my videos in the future, I'm telling you now, the entertainment and art industry is not a joke. People work hard for their money. And please, please make sure that obviously in the future that is recognised more. Right, so we're moving on. So again, plans for the future. Obviously, we don't know when COVID's going to finish, but if and when it does, then are we expecting, from your point of view, then your workplace to kick off and obviously come back to where it is, or do you think the future is going to be very different and it's going to take a long while to get back to where we ever was.
Well, this one's the question, isn't it? It's obviously on my mind a lot because I'm stuck in it at the moment. At the beginning, I was like, it's not going to be that long. It's not going to be that long.
Mm-hmm.
But I just think they've gone around it the wrong way, and it's pushed things further back. Everything will get back to how it was. I believe that. I do believe things will get back, because even the government, they want things to be normal, because they do. They're just doing it very, very strangely.
Mm-hmm.
That's not on the cards. But do I see it coming back? Yeah, I see it coming back. I see it being very different, though. I see it being maybe, say like for show-wise, maybe you're doing 4 shows a day now, possibly. If you think about how many people can be in a room at the same time. By when do people open again for next year, say? Because I can't see it being massively busy anywhere until next year. So say March, April is when places open properly, and they do it that way. I can see it being more staggered.
So rather than people will have to, if they go away on holiday, will have to book entertainment slots.
No, abroad I think it's different. Like you can do it all outside.
Yes.
That's the difference. Out there for their whole summer, they could be outside. When it gets indoors, I think that's when they'll just go, we'll close now.
But you're saying like with the UK market, then with holiday parks, it will have to be a case of, we are doing an entertainment show tonight of such and such, maybe a musical of some sort.
Yeah.
But you're saying that we're going to be doing one show at 6 o'clock, next one at 7:30, and so on, maybe 3 shows a night.
Exactly.
So, because you're literally filtering people in and out for COVID safety, and it's just going to be that way.
Yeah, a bit kind of. I like the way they've done the restaurants, because if we think about it like properly, like we went in this in March, and then 8 months later, restaurants are open with a few in certain time slots. So if we think about it logically, if now is worse off than March before, so next year, by the time it gets March, that's only 6 months away. So I can't see it being too much different to that if they do it. So I can see it being the restaurants will do it the same way, or no, sorry, entertainment could do it the same way as restaurants. It could be a good way of doing it. That way, holidaymakers still get to see their acts. The only thing that I think will be difficult now is characters.
Yeah. I think in light of situations, I totally agree with what you say. There's going to have to be some sort of leeway, because the entertainment art industry, holiday industry cannot suffer anymore. We're well aware that, abroad relies on UK travel for obviously their income, and vice versa. We do take a lot of it obviously on our seaside towns and holiday destinations in the UK. So I can't see it going on forever without some sort of resolution. What that may be, we can't be sure of just yet, but there will be something, I'm sure, being put in place, especially with the Christmas period coming up now, which is obviously a main earner for obviously shops and tourists around the UK. Something's going to have to come around. Right, to divert off COVID then and entertainment, I've got a bit of a good eye. So behind you then, I see that you have some sort of comic book memorabilia of some sort then?
I dabble.
Okay then, so obviously if we wish to say, is that one of your little side hobbies by any chance?
It's kind of a thing that never really left me when I was a kid. Carry on collecting. A collector never stops collecting, Eric.
Right. When with comics, because obviously again I've known you to have like a few comic books, the CDs and stuff like that, and posters.
Yep.
Again, a child will go through a phase of collecting something, albeit like Pokemon, Tamagotchis, Furbies, whatever it may be at the time. Obviously now further on there's more digital toys that are out there now.
Yeah, I wish I was a kid then.
I think you can strongly say that obviously comic book collecting had its lull, but in 2020, comic book movies and memorabilia and collectibles have never been so popular. So
Yeah.
I don't know where this comes from, because it seems like a very old-fashioned thing to do, collecting comic books. Because, you know, from the 50s and onwards, it used to be a case of go and buy your comic book. There wasn't a TV program regularly on. You'd have to read about it.
Yeah.
I think while I've got you here, then, you're probably going to upset a few people, as is the question.
As is life.
Is it? Which one is it? Marvel or DC?
For me, movie-wise or comic-wise?
Answer both. Go on, answer both.
All right. Movie-wise, Marvel are killing it. Like, they're doing so much better than DC. DC just do it wrong. Leaf. Right. Sorry. Leaf, get out there. I've got a dog. She's licking. No, that's antifreeze. You could buy.
Okay.
And comic-wise, DC, like, their comics are just more dark. Like, they're just so much better. They're not happy all the time. They are more, they look at it as in the world that it is now. The way that I read it. Right. So I believe so DC and comics.
We've had this obviously long, stringent Marvel universe series going on now over the last 10 years, which has just expanded and blew up. You know, from a simple film such as Iron Man with Robert Downey Jr. going up now, it's massive. But obviously, when you look at DC, and obviously there's been one consistent. I mean, over those years, I mean, we've had probably, I don't know, 400 different Batman movies. It feels like it.
So, yeah, and 4 different Batman nipples.
Right, so, Robert Pattinson, yay or nay?
Do you know what? I didn't want Ben Affleck, and I thought Ben Affleck was the bomb as Batman. I thought he was very, very good as Batman. He was the most like Batman. He acted like Batman when he did Batman type things. The way that he investigates and preps, watching him do all that was very, very good. His warehouse scene, the fight scene, was very, very like the Arkham games, if anyone's played those. Very like that. And the Robin Pattinson one that I've seen the advert for, no, none of that squeaking. Leafa, please stop, come over here. Robert Pattinson, I've seen his advert, and sit. I've seen his advert, and it looks like it could be good. It really does look like it could be good.
From obviously watching Christian Bale, who I do say was a fantastic Batman for his reasons, in my own personal. But it seems like Batman has he always been that dark, and is it always destined to be a very dark movie franchise?
Yeah, he's always been dark because it's how he's raised, isn't it? From his parents dying outside the theater. So yeah, it's always going to be dark. Batman is dark.
The Robert Pattinson movie that's coming out now. The trailers are very, very depicting on the film being very dark. And when I say dark, for those that don't really watch films, I mean that the actual storyline and the characters themselves are not, as you've said, they're not Marvel. They're not in your face, being superheroes, hands on hips, you know, flying off to the sun. This is very dark with a very deep backstory. And again, I think this could possibly go, you know, it could go either way, but I'm rooting for it, you know. I
just don't understand why he's got Kit as his car from Knight Rider. I was confused on that one.
Right, so we've now obviously discussed entertainment. We've discussed obviously your hobbies and what you get up to. Yeah. Obviously, the coronavirus, you can't avoid it. It is a topic and it is a conversation, and by ignoring it, we are literally just giving into the idea that it's going to consume us. All I can say, obviously, on public is the same as what everybody else is saying. Please stay safe. Please cover up. Please wear a mask. For those that aren't wearing masks and decide that it's not going to affect them, I promise you, I do not wish it upon anybody. Please wear masks, wash your hands, look after yourselves, and we can get through this on the other side. Right, on a more lighter note then, before I finish my interviews, I would like to ask my guest, if possible, A song that's been stuck in your head this week, or an artist that you'd like to recommend to our viewers?
Okay, there's actually two that have been stuck in my head. Right, there's the first one's by the Struts and Robbie Williams, and it's called Strange Days, and it proper hits home about the whole Corona thing. It's very about that, and it's a very good song. And the other one is a song called Alita by like, I don't even listen to this type of music, but I heard it and it's just stuck in my head. So it's Alita by Gary Barlow and Michael Bublé, and it's literally fantastic. It's one of those songs that that for an entertainer, I know I'm gonna hear this from us. It's one of them songs that is just gonna be, it's gonna be out there.
So if anybody has already got the connection, which I'm sure you have because you're a very smart man, you've picked two people from the original band, Take That. So well done.
Oh crap, yeah, I did. No. E17 was mine.
Thank you ever so much for coming on to the first show today, Kev. It's been much appreciated. For those that have stayed and watched the whole video, we do appreciate it. There'll be more videos every Saturday at 10 a.m. If you'd like to obviously get involved and you have a hobby or an interest that you'd like to obviously share with us, please get in touch and we'll obviously see if we can get you on as soon as possible. But from me, your host, and obviously today's guest from Kevin, thank you very much for watching. We'll see you all again soon. Cheers. Bye-bye.
Bye.